Paltrocast.
Hi, Darren. How are you? I'm Naturi. Thanks for taking the time.
Well, Naturi, you're one of those people that when you come to interview the person, you go, what do I ask about? Because I know about you from Power. I
Yes.
was a fan of 3LW because I watched TRL and all that growing up.
Oh,
There's
wow. So
T-
you
T-
grew up on TRL too.
Yeah. I will.
Didn't we all? I feel like we all loved TRL back in the day.
Exactly. And this new BET Plus film that you are part of. So at this point in time, are you a singer that became an actress and a singer? How do you think of yourself right now?
I have always said I'm a multi-hyphenate singer and actress. Even when I was a young girl, I kind of knew that I would be an actress as well.
Mhm.
But as far as the opportunity of what started my career, definitely singing. So music has been, my first love, and it definitely helped me to transition into acting. So
Mhm.
I guess, I'm a singer that most people may have known from 3LW, and, may have seen me on Broadway and Hairspray maybe. And then I transitioned into acting roles, and that's brought me here. So singer turned actress, but in my heart, I've always been singer, actress, dancer, writer. I've always wanted to be an artist.
Got it. Well, congratulations on having a child just in the last, week?
4 weeks, literally. My baby's upstairs. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a sip.
Yeah, I'm impressed that you're able to do press in the middle
I'm
of
like
not
so
sleeping
glad
during-
I'm able to do it. I have a 1-month-old officially today. He's 4 weeks and he is amazing. And yeah, I actually shot Call Her King pregnant, which no one knew. I didn't even really know, but I found out, I was 6 weeks pregnant and I was busting it down. So he came out the womb, boom, boom, swinging.
When you're filming something pregnant, the usual tricks are they put you behind the coffee table, they have you wearing an overcoat.
Yeah, if you're showing for sure. I mean, Kerry Washington mastered that in Scandal. The vase, like being behind a vase, a table, sitting at a desk. It's so funny. I actually shot Power season 4 pregnant as well. And I was a little further along and we just did the costumes, more of those flowy tops, peplum, and things that you wouldn't even know. So people were like, wait a minute, what? Because I have a 5-year-old daughter, Zuri, and
Mhm.
then my son, who was just born. When I was shooting this movie, Call Her King, I wasn't showing, so it was easy to hide, thankfully.
This is a great cast in Call Her King, to say
It
the
is.
least. I've already spoken with Lance. I'm waiting to hear when I'm speaking with Johnny. Who did you know before working on this project? Was it a traditional casting or you knew a producer?
I did not know anyone. I had a phone call with Wes. They offered me the part of Judge Jada King. Wes Miller, the director. We had a great call. But I actually did know Lance Gross as as an actor in the industry.
Mhm.
I didn't know Jason Mitchell, but I was a fan of his work. Oh, sorry. Hold on, make sure this. How do I
No
make
problem.
sure?
We'll edit that out. All good.
Do not disturb. Okay. How do I make sure that, okay, do not disturb. So I think, let me just text my brother that he doesn't call
No
again.
problem.
Sorry.
Oh, no sorries, Naturi. No sorries.
So Jason Mitchell, I didn't know. And I didn't know Johnny, but I got to know them, obviously Nick Turturro, and
Yeah.
but it was really cool to work with Lance as well because we were friends, and it was like, oh, we get a chance to share the screen together, and it was a blast.
Yeah, you're not the only multi-talented person in that cast because Lance is a carpenter. Did he ever talk to you about that?
Well, I know he's a photographer, paint, like he's a carpenter too.
Well, at least he can build
I
furniture.
didn't really.
I hope I'm not misquoting him on that, but
No,
I was
no,
asking
no.
you about
He
life
seemed-
outside of acting, and he was
No,
talking
he's-
about how he likes to do his own handiwork.
Well, that's amazing. I did not know that, but I did know that he was, I mean, he takes amazing photos. He's
Yeah.
also a father of 2. I mean, he's super awesome too. So I'm glad that, as actors, a lot of people don't know we have all these other talents, You know,
course.
like me, I'm a double Dutch champion. I used to jump double Dutch rope when I was a kid, and I still jump very well.
I
So
can't.
that's my little skill.
And I know that you grew up in a cool part of Jersey,
East
and
Orange.
you have the premiere or the red carpet later this week at the Magic Johnson, which is probably 4 miles from where you grew up, but it's separated by a bridge. And, you know,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
it still takes about an hour to get there, even though it's 3 or 4 miles away. But
Tell
is
me
that the
about it.
first time you've done a premiere up in Harlem?
This will be, hmm. Yeah, yes, actually, I think so. All my premieres have been in Manhattan. Like, well, it's still Manhattan, but you know, like the city, lower or mid Manhattan. So I don't think I've ever had a premiere in Harlem. And the Magic Johnson Theater, I'm excited to be there. You know, just to celebrate this moment. Call Her King is a moment where you get to see a woman as a strong, fierce, action leading lady,
Mhm.
and a Black woman at that. It's really refreshing because a lot of times, you know, in these kind of films, it's often chosen that we have to make a male, you know, a man the lead. And to have a woman be this strong, you know, I did training, fight training, the karate, gun training, learning how to shoot different gun. I mean, it was intense. So I feel like this will be a great celebration, and I'm excited to be in Harlem with, you know, the energy. And that's actually where I met my husband, in Harlem. So I'm
Oh,
like, oh, we're going back to where we started.
now I used to live in Harlem. Where in Harlem did you meet your husband? Corner Social?
Right on like 126th Street, literally like in the center of Harlem. He used to live there, and yeah, we met. We used to go out, you know, Melba's, you know, we
Oh
used to
yeah.
go to Red Rooster, and just like hanging out in Harlem with the good food and catfish fingers, and well, because I love soul food. So Harlem has such an energy, and I'm excited to bring Car King to that energy.
Got it. So what I'm picking up here is if you don't feel well during the premiere, it's that you snuck out to Sylvia's or Red Rooster or Corner
Oh
Social.
yes, Sylvia's. Oh, I went to get me some smothered chicken and some ribs or something. That's hilarious. But no, I'm excited just to be back, you know, in uptown. It'll be fun.
Of course. Well, this is a new movie to us. It's an old movie to you. Are you allowed to say what's next, where we can see next, or do we have to wait to see what the trades say it's okay to announce?
You mean, okay, so for me as an actress, you mean what's next, or the movie?
Yeah, because you could be lazy
Oh,
with IMDb, and then you ask the people about the things that are on IMDb,
yeah.
and then they go, "That's not true. I'm not in that."
Oh, really? Oh, wow. IMDb is pretty accurate, though. They're very good about that. I am working on being back on stage again. Let's just say I really miss, you know, musical theater. I don't, a lot of people don't know I spent 3 years on Broadway in the musical
Mhm.
Hairspray. Hairspray, so much fun.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm excited about some of the projects that are in development that I'm a part of right now. So I can't say anything specifically yet, but what I can say is in 2023, you may see me singing and on stage again and performing, which is a dream of mine because I do miss it. And I'm looking forward to just being able to show all those talents that really started my career. So
Right.
yeah.
As we talked about at the beginning, we first knew about you as a singer. Then I'm sure there's a lot of people who found you through Power who had no idea that you can
Oh,
sing.
I know. And they're like, wait a minute, Tasha from Power is also the girl from 3LW, who's also the girl who's in Hairspray. It's almost like I've lived 3 or 4 different lives as an actress or as an artist. And I think that's what it's all about in a way. And even Call Her King, people are like, oh, cool. You know, to see me kicking butt and doing all the moves. And I just feel so great. And as a woman and just having a baby, I'm like, yes,
Sure.
I'm strong. And it is kind of cool to see all those points in my career because I've been in this business for 23 years.
Right. You are it's incredible how much you've accomplished in those 20 plus years because no one could ever call you old. But the thing is, when you get into any field and you go, I've been doing this for over 20 years, you go, okay, old person.
Oh, I know. Doesn't it sound crazy? But I started at like 14, 15. Yeah. So kind of like you start as a baby.
So much more of your life, you've been holding a microphone surrounded by union crew than not.
You know what? That's so funny. Yes. Either holding a mic, being mic'd for a set in some way in front of a camera, or utilizing, the lights of the camera. It's so interesting. You're right. Because yeah, more than not, I've spent a lot of my time, being an artist, but I also spent a lot of my time working on my personal life. Sure. I just recently got married last year, having my family. I feel like just as much as I put into my work, I do put into my family and building. So I always encourage people, do your dream, but also make sure you live your dream too with the people you love.
Yes, I say congratulations on that wedding.
Thank you.
There's great photos online that we've seen at that wedding.
It was pretty iconic. We had like the best wedding ever. It was amazing, me and my husband.
One thing I didn't know, and this is the second to last question I got for you.
Sure.
When you're an entertainer and somebody who's a great singer, who do you have sing at the wedding? Is it the first thing you think about or the last thing you think about who's singing at the wedding?
I actually thought about that pretty early, and my very good friend Tevin Campbell sang at my wedding because we did Hairspray together. And Tevin and I have been friends since Hairspray. And I asked him, I called him and I was like, Tevin, I'm getting married. I would love for you to sing me, sing while I come down the aisle with my father. And he did. He sang Brown Eyed Girl as I walked down the aisle. And he also at my reception sang, Can We Talk? And I'm Ready. And I was just blown away because I'm like, who gets to have Tevin Campbell like that? That's like the little 11-year-old in me was like, ah!
I don't
and
blame.
Then also had Montel Jordan, who officiated our wedding. He also performed This Is How We Do It at our reception. So as a singer, it was nice to take a break and have my awesomely talented friends jump in. So the wedding was in Atlanta at St. Regis. My husband too. He was just like, you've got some pretty cool friends, but he does too. So we just put it all together and made an amazing reception and amazing ceremony.
The last question I got for you is kind of a stupid one, but the fact that you've done Broadway and you've done the music videos, mainstream pop career, and the acting, I get the vibe that you're chasing the EGOT, the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Am I wrong?
Absolutely. I am on the journey. I've been on Broadway, but only, in one, in that musical, but I can't wait to be in a role that gives me the opportunity to get that Tony, be in a role so I can get that Oscar, the Emmy, the Grammy. The EGOT is literally like on my list of like what I want to do in my life. And even though because I've been in the music business and the acting business and the theater business, and now I'm directing, it's kind of a dream to even be able to go after something like that. And I think maybe in 20 more years, we'll talk again and I would have had them. I'm
hoping I talk to you again sooner than in 20 years.
I know, right? We shouldn't.
But in the meantime, congratulations on this film. Congratulations on the addition to the family. Really looking forward to whatever's next, whether you're singing, acting, directing, producing, whatever it is. Just keep up all the greatness, Naturi.
Thank you, Darren. I appreciate that. This was fun. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Paltrocast.